Hello out there, and welcome to yet another edition of Fourth Estate. Fourth Estate is a program where we look at events and issues in society from the point of view of the media, and we bring media analysts to also look at these issues with us. Today, as usual, we have so many issues to discuss. You have the issue of President Muhammadu Buhari saying that the level of poverty is upsetting to him. You want to ask, has he just woken up? We will look at that. You also have the issue of Justice Zainab Bukachua, the president of the Appeal Court, and is the head of the presidential election tribunal, and the PDP, People's Democratic Party, is saying she should recuse herself from that seat because her husband is a key person in the All Progressives Congress. Should she sacrifice her career for her husband, or has there been certain issues that has made it difficult to believe that she will be unbiased? We have the defense headquarters. Interestingly, since 1999, the defense headquarters is coming out to say we are not party to any attempt to overthrow President Muhammadu Buhari. Where is that coming from? Who could be thinking about that? Could the military also be doing self-searching? This we will also look at. And we have the reappointment of Emefiele as the CBN governor. He will stand before the Senate as of next week for screening. But as he was reappointed, there is a social media audio that has been circulating over an alleged missing 500 billion naira, and that there are attempts by him and his lieutenants to cover it up. And some are saying, in fact, we need to investigate the CBN. We need to audit the CBN. Who watches the watchdog? I think that is the question that is being asked there. And we have JAMB. JAMB has continued to send money into the national treasury, and we know that there is poverty in the land. Why can't JAMB allow people to obtain the form without paying, instead of paying money back into government coffers by taxing the poor masses that the president is saying he is already upset? We also want to look at restructuring. All of a sudden, President Muhammadu Buhari is backing restructuring. Is it a political gimmick? And we have Bayelsa. They have their governorship election November, and the government in Bayelsa is saying, INEC, why must you come to our state on November 2nd? We have Thanksgiving service. Can't they hold Thanksgiving before November 2nd? What is so sacrosanct about November 2nd? These are some of the issues we will look at within such a short time. Olufunke Faduba is my name. You are welcome. To look at these issues with me, I have Mr. Tunde Abaton, Executive Editor, Newsdawn Nigeria. You are welcome, Mr. Abaton. And I also have OSA Director, OSA director is a journalist, is also a lawyer. You are most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. We will not be looking at insecurity. Insecurity is becoming like a daily affair. Let's look at poverty, particularly that the president himself is paying attention to it. He says it's very upsetting, the level of poverty, particularly amongst Almajiris. And he's saying the elite should be blamed for not showing interest in the welfare of the downtrodden and in their educational needs. Mr. Abaton, is the president right to be blaming?
Well, I think it is a fallout of a lot of things. Number one, if after 2 weeks to the inauguration for a second term, the president is saying this, it means he has been sufficiently cut off from the reality among the populace in which he has been president for 4 years. It means he has not been able to know the grievances of the people. He has not had first-hand information about the level of poverty in the country, vis-a-vis the economy of the country. Because if he has enough knowledge, he should have come out with a measure, a palliative measure, to do that same part of his program for 4 years.
Oh,
so
wait, let me remind you, we have the trader money. We also had Empower amongst some of these palliatives.
Well, the trader money and Empower is they are limited in scope, whether you like it or not. Trader money is for traders. Empower is for unemployed youths. So, I think it depends so-called from the elite at the moment. Sort of reality.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, I think, well, it's better to be late than never. I also want to believe that he was conscious of the plight of the average Nigerian, especially with the indices which churned out by multilateral agencies that has placed Nigeria as the capital of poverty in the world. You know, so he couldn't have been unaware of the situation. But of course, you know, we also play politics with everything. He's a politician. He perhaps wanted to secure a second term before coming out bluntly to say, I'm conscious of this, and now I want to tackle it. And like I've always believed, and I still want to believe, that in this second term, it should be brutal, let me use that word, in confronting the reality of Nigerian situation and combating poverty, because he has no business going to anybody to ask for votes again. You know, so the so-called cabal should be able to break himself from their sincerity and do what is right and what is good in the interest of the average Nigerian person. Like Mr. Barton said, I think what they need to do is to have a program that is self-sustaining, not all this interventionist program of trader money and power, you know. Let them have a self-sustaining program that will even outlast them in office.
Some were even thinking that the campaign slogan of the All Progressives Congress, next level. Is there any documents that we can really interact with, that we can interface with, that this is what the next level contains?
I think the thing has not, the party and the government has not come out to actually enunciate what the breakdown of the next level in economic terms, in political terms,
educational
terms,
health-wise.
They have to come out and tell Nigerians these are the programs we are going to do in the next 4 years. That will bring a realization. Because before you can talk of next level, you must have perfected the first level, the foundation level. It means by the president to come out to say that he was surprised by the level of poverty, it means there's a need to go back to the drawing board and see whether the programs they have done in the last 4 years, whether it has touched the people. Like he said, if he was playing politics, the next level will be justified. But if he was not playing politics, it means we have to go back to ground zero and look at what we have done, what we are free to do, and what we are likely to do to take us to the next level. Because you cannot be thinking of primary 2 without scaling to primary 1. You cannot be thinking of the first floor or second floor without taking care of the foundation. So the foundation is very, very key and important. And if he has to succeed with the next level, he has to take care of the foundation of our country, economically, politically, structurally, in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of everything. It is by admitting and doing these things that it can be assured that we can be we are being in a position to move to the next level. Because the next level means you have taken care of the first level.
Osa, next level, does it have any meaning to you?
Well, next level, as I see it, is that, I mean, apart from being a political slogan, you know, a catchphrase, you know, to attract attention of the voters, I believe that they should go beyond that by having a policy document. But again, has policy documents or institution of policies been a problem in this country? We've had SAP, we've had NIS, we have all kinds of, but the follow-up, the implementation, it's just like talking of rule of law in Nigeria. We have enough rules and laws in this country, but people just
compliance
in the breach. So what I believe is government is too much based on ad hocism. This one comes, does its own and go. The only place we have seen a kind of systemic or systematic planning has been Lagos State, you know, where you find that the government comes, there's continuity. So what I would just advise the president to do is, yes, he can have a roadmap, which we can all see, but he must insist that on enforcing those policies within the 4 years that he has. Whoever comes in, it is left for Nigerians to insist that we want a continuation of certain
of
policies.
the roadmap that we already keyed into.
Yes.
Let's go to the Court of Appeal, where we have Justice Zainab Bukachua. The husband is a senator-elect of APC and is sitting on petitions by opposition parties. And the opposition parties are saying, hey, you can't give us justice. Abaton, do you doubt the credibility of Justice Bukachua, or is it that Justice Bukachua, in rising, has she compromised to the point that her integrity is
well, I think firstly, it is systemic. If there's a process in place in which you can rise to a particular level, when you rise to that particular level, your circumstance, because the circumstance of the situation is what is making us to focus on the woman. The circumstance of her being elevated or being appointed as the president of that
of the appeal court.
Appeal court, not only appeal court, but he got to the appeal court by merit. I want to believe that.
Let's go to the defense headquarters. The military.
Well, I think
they say they are not part of people who want to overthrow the president.
This will be the first time in history of Nigeria
since 1999.
Because, like he said, there are some sectors of the society that are not supposed to be heard, but the military is coming out to say that they are not part of it. I think it is unfortunate. Like he said, we have no trust or belief in our system. And that is why that thing is coming out. And I think the most important thing for the DSS is to try as much as possible as a security outfit to unearth those who are behind that particular thing. If they are able to unearth those who are behind that leaflet, then they will have helped Nigeria in knowing that there are some people who are disgruntled. They have every right to be disgruntled, but to the point of planning to
overthrow
a government is an allegation of treason. So there cannot be smoke without fire. They should come out to tell us what is happening.
In the military.
In the military. Because maybe there are some rumbles. And before, like I said, there cannot be smoke without fire. There have been some fire inside, which we have not seen. But the smoke that we are seeing now is the allegation that nobody can prove. But I think they should go further. Because like you said, Nigeria is a country in which after 2 weeks, this thing will go away. You will hear they will swear in the president, and
that will be the end of it.
That will be the end of it. So we are moving in circles. So there cannot be smoke without fire. I think Nigeria deserves to know what is happening. Yes, the president may not want to tell the whole world that there's a coup d'etat or there's a failed coup d'etat, because that is sending a wrong side signal.
Osa, my whole worry is that beyond statements, beyond denial, for the defense headquarters to come out, they must have seen certain things.
No, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
They should key all of us into it, because they cannot love Nigeria more than us.
You see, like I've always told people, those who are in government are not necessarily more patriotic and altruistic than those outside of it. So we have a right to know. And that is why we are promoting openness and transparency in the governance. Certainly, there is the smoke we are seeing somewhere is being stoked. You know, we want to know, we should get to the bottom of it, and for the ministry to be pushed and compelled to issue this denial shows that really something is amiss, and something untoward is going to happen if care is not taken. But I want to say that the era is gone. It's no longer fashionable
for military
to thrive. You know, but Nigeria has proven to be a country that defies logic. Logic.
We always stand the logic on its head in Nigeria. Well, the military should do the needful to reassure us. By 2 weeks to the swearing in of the president.
Yes.
Why would you come out and be saying this? It's wrong signal.
Very, very wrong.
Reappointment of Godwin Emefiele. For 4 years, he had been, is it 4 or 5 years? 5 years. He had been governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, monitoring policies and advising, because Central Bank is the technical advisor to the government on managing the economy. If you link that to the point the president just made, being upset about poverty, you want to wonder what policy has the CBN been putting in place in the last 5 years. Again, there is this social media audio that some amount of money is missing. How do we look at all this?
Well,
at
I
the next
think
time of
when we
Emefiele?
look at the role of the Central Bank of Nigeria, no, yes, the Central Bank is supposed to be the lender of last resort, and the Central Bank is also the banker's bank. But implementing fiscal policy will not necessarily be the role of the Central Bank. It may be the responsibility of the Minister of Finance and Justice. I think I don't know what is happening in Nigeria today, because in the 70s and 80s we have what we call Federal Office of Statistics. They are the one that will monitor and gauge the economy almost every week and report back to the Ministry of National Planning. Because without the national planning, you cannot plan for the economy. Without the national planning, the central bank cannot even. In fact, through the national planning, the central bank can know
And
that
formulate policies.
It's not in tandem with the policy of the government. So one would have expected the president to know, to have a first-hand feeling from the statistics rolled out by the central by the Bureau of Statistics.
We have the National Bureau. We see have the National Bureau.
So
of
all these
Statistics.
three agencies are supposed to work hand in hand with the CBN and tell the CBN at any point in time. So I would want to, without necessarily insulating the CBN from the crisis we have today, the CBN governor must have justified his reappointment by the feelings and attitude of the president, because it is for him to implement policy that will turn that. So it's not
Okay.
I think for me,
Yeah.
the CBN is in charge of churning out monetary policies
of the country.
I want to say that Emefiele is not somebody one would be reluctant to give a pass mark in terms of performance. Because he just said, that Minister of Finance and all that will be in charge of fiscal policy, which is true. They are supposed to work hand
together
with each other. But a situation where the president broadly said that he was not going to devalue the naira, which was a patriotic decision that should be backed by economic policies. But few weeks down the line, the CBN
had to be funding
the
forex.
The 500 in US, yes. And now you have about 3 windows of foreign exchange. To the extent that the former CBN governor, His Highness Sanusi, had to complain that people just sit down in their houses in Abuja and become multi-billionaires overnight. What do? You get foreign exchange at a particular window, maybe for
official window,
150, and you go to the distance side of the black market for 500. So, and these are policies being superintended or supervised by Emefiele. So for me, I am at a loss as to why it was reappointed. And with this in respect to the audio circulation going on, there's something that is shocking me. One, Emefiele and the CBN has not denied that they are the ones speaking, that those were their voices.
They just said no money was missing.
Yes. And then if you try to analyze the content of the analysis, how does that relate to no money was missing? They were talking about a business deal, and I'm shocked that even the National Assembly, the Senate specifically, is screening this man.
We don't know the outcome of their screening.
I want to believe that the Senate should be able to drill him on this particular. As a matter of fact, if we live in a country where public officers have self-respect, Emefiele should step aside and want to clear his name. And he has said he's going to go to court. We are tired of this sentimental claptrap of people just wanting to use the judiciary to buy time. To play for. You know, let him answer to those questions. Let him be properly drilled by the DSS and everybody. Let's investigate. Let's security agencies.
Which deal were they into?
Everything were they talking about? What are you? I mean, come on. You should step aside.
I think the basic to add to what you have said, the basic problem in Nigeria is that we used to have one body called ombudsman.
Yes.
If anybody feel aggrieved about any public official or any institution, let us write with documents. But unfortunately, institutions are not made in Nigeria to be strong. Ombudsman will have called anybody that is concerned to order and call the attention of the president. This is what we have. This is the result of our investigation. But unfortunately, the institutions are not made to work. And that's why people are talking of strong institutions. When we have strong institutions in Nigeria, a lot of people that are not supposed to be in public office, they will not be there. But because by appointing people who will head that institution,
you have already compromised.
Sure.
Because I want to say that there should be security report.
Yes.
Before the Senate.
That was what I said.
Are you getting
it? There cannot be smoke.
Yes.
The security report on Emefiele, vis-a-vis this social media audio, should be able to unravel.
Yes.
Was there any deal?
Oh, no deal.
The people speaking, were they people? Thank you. That's it.
What are you talking about?
That's it. And we are interested in that.
No, seriously.
Nigerians are interested. JAMB, and we are talking about poverty. JAMB has paid 5 billion to the National Treasury from funds that were sold. And the funds were sold to children of the less privileged. Should there not be concession to these children, to these families who are struggling to keep body and soul together?
Well, I think that's the main challenge of the Nigerian society. No society develops beyond the level of its quality of education. And by uneducating Nigerians or keeping most Nigerians out of the educational loop, we are holding them down. But like Jesse Jackson once noted, nobody can hold down a mind a ditch without remaining with that person in the ditch. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Nigeria is the worst off for it. What is wrong, like you rightly stated? Selling JAMB free of charge. And everybody seems, it's good though, because he has performed better than other.
We should commend him.
Should be commended as being transparent to the extent that any money that comes in
is accounted for.
Supposed to be a revenue generating organization.
That's the question.
It's just like what we have with federal road safety. They want to arrest you, they want to generate revenue. You are the essence of
that is the irony.
Yes, so you now miss what I call the original intention of setting up your organization to pursue
of service provided,
revenue generation. I'm helping the country and all that. I believe and I insist that JAMB should be free.
Well, I think
instead of wasting 1 year.
Yeah, I think, like I said, which you are saying that we should be flexible about our loss. That means there's probably no need for any
no.
Let each university admit the student that in their own judgment they think is qualified to.
And then
because I think it's a question of maturity. Before you put in Britain, if you are not 17, if you like score A in 7 subjects, if you are not 17, you cannot enter any institution.
Maybe that's why we have children in universities succumbing to
So
pressure groups.
Social pressures. They are not matured. They are not matured. So I think each of the universities, if you want to set aside the law, allow each of the universities to at least
Their students themselves. So soon we have come to the end of the program, and we want to thank you for being there. I'm sure you have gained by investing your time with us. Let me thank Mr. Tunde Abaton, Executive Editor, New Dawn Nigeria. Thank you for coming to this program.
it's a pleasure.
OSA Director, a journalist, a lawyer, an activist. Should I continue?
No,
Thank you for coming to this program.
Thank you very much for having me.
I am Olufunke Faduba. See you next week.